It's been 2 years since a group of police, prosecutors, and nonprofits got together to start the Yakima Domestic Violence Coalition. This is a collaborative approach to helping victims, and it's aimed at preventing them from falling through cracks in the system. Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell tells us they're marking the anniversary by looking back on what they've accomplished and planning for how far they still have to go.
Over the past 2 years, the Yakima Domestic Violence Coalition has fundamentally changed the way authorities deal with cases of intimate partner violence.
We knew at the very onset of this program that we weren't going to arrest our way out of the domestic violence issues occurring within our community.
Instead, a push to get victims help by putting the focus on their needs.
Coming together daily in our daily work group, something that there was no model for, we really created on our own, knowing in that first 24 hours, you have the greatest opportunity to make an impact.
Making sure to get suspects away from victims as soon as possible by expediting the warrant process.
When somebody's gone, when our officers get there and we have evidence of a crime, we're not waiting 4 and 6 and 8 weeks or months down the road for a charging decision at the prosecutor's office.
Launching a partnership with educators to notify them when a child is involved in a police call and needs to be handled with care.
The schools were the very first person we reached out to because we knew we had to impact families in a different way in our community that were impacted by trauma and violence within the home.
And finally, a step forward in fixing the problem of inmates using jail-issued tablets to text and threaten their victims within hours of being arrested.
We were unable to access, in many cases, the content of the messages from offenders that are in jail to their victims outside of jail, which, as you can imagine, has a psychological impact with that victim.
But now they don't need a search warrant to access the messages that can prove an inmate is violating a no-contact order. The next step, looking at getting treatment for domestic violence offenders to hopefully prevent them from doing it again.
If we can stop an offender after the first offense or after the non-criminal offense through intervention models, prevention models, meaningful work within the community to prevent them from escalating, then that will be the biggest win that we can come up with in this group.
Coalition officials say they're also exploring whether a therapeutic court like mental health court or drug court could work effectively for domestic violence offenders. Anything to prevent more people from getting hurt by someone who should never hurt them. In Yakima, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
The Yakima Domestic Violence Coalition meets every second Tuesday of the month, usually at the OIC building on Fruitvale. Those meetings are open to the public.